Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video it's got a simple one. We're going to be looking at the basic functions of the RNet LED controller. Here. That's it. So this will be for people who have obviously just received the chair or it's just a refresher. Maybe they've upgraded or downgraded to this particular controller and they want to understand the functions a little bit better. So it's going to be quite a nice, simple video just to go through them and to create a bit of clarity. So first off then, very simply at the top, quite easily recognisable, is your battery gauge, and it's an LED battery gauge. You have three colours, so you have red, amber and green. If all of them are illuminated, then it means you have a full battery. As you use the chair, naturally those lights will extinguish. This is also going to be used, is also used on this particular controller as your diagnostic reading as well. So it will come up with certain codes or certain light sequences that will dictate certain errors. So if that ever does happen, you'll have quite a simplified sort of diagnostic understanding in your controller manual that you receive with the chair or the controller itself. But yeah, if it's anything more complicated or you don't really want to get involved with it, then please just get a hold of your specialist in your area, or of course feel free to leave a comment in the description below, and I'll try and answer them and help you out as best as I can. Below that, again, quite a recognisable icon, which is the on-off button. One button press on and off, nice and simple. Give it a couple of seconds once you've pressed it to turn it on. It just needs to talk to all the relevant components, especially if you've got multiple powered functions. Or any complex seating really. It just needs time to sort of talk to everything, just make sure everything's all right and there are no errors have occurred during the period of you not using it. So yeah, so just give it a bit of time, because otherwise you'll confuse it if you try and put an input in straight away. Below that, you have your hazard, your horn and your lights. If we focus on the two on either side of the horn, so the hazards on the left hand side, you have again they're all one button press. Once you have selected the hazard light, you'll get a light illuminate just above that, and what you also see is your two indicator lights or indicator icons down below on the lower part of the controller. They'll also light up, obviously saying that both the indicators are on, but you've got the hazard on, so that's going to happen. Again, just press it once to turn it off. On the right hand side, you then have your lights. Again, one button press, and you also have a light to indicate that it is on. So always maybe have a look at that first as your first indication whether or not you've actually got, or whether it's actually worked, or what you've pressed has actually activated the lights. The horn in the centre, I think it's quite well known that the horns generally on most things, even on scooters or and any power chair really, they're kind of pathetic. You can change the volume. So a programmer, so any sort of technician or engineer is able to change the volume on them, but even max volume isn't that loud. I know a lot of people that tend just to shout to get people out of the way, but the horn is there for that purpose, more polite version maybe. We'll skip the mode function for the time being, but we'll move down to the main sort of the drive speeds or drive profiles, if you like. You have 5 different speeds on this particular controller. They can be called drive profiles or just general speeds, but you can dictate the attributes and the characteristics of the speeds, or how the chair drives in each one of them. Yeah, and that's something that a engineer or technician will definitely be able to do for you on terms of programming. It's very simple. Just as long as they've got the right type of equipment or software, then yeah, it'll be a real straightforward adjustment. To change the speeds, that's probably the only thing I haven't mentioned. You have 2 chevrons on the left and 4 chevrons on the right of this central rocker switch, and that is literally essentially a plus or minus on terms of the speed. It's a single light, but it will cycle through the 5 stages, and so if the light is furthest on the right hand side, then you're on your fastest speed. So and then vice versa. If it's furthest on the left, then you're on your slower speed. Either side of the rocker switch, something that I've already mentioned actually when I was talking about the hazard light, you've got your indicators. Again, a very simple sort of one press on, one press off, and you also get the light to indicate that it's activating, but just exactly the same as what an indicator to do, is going to flash, so that light indicator will also flash. That's the drive profiles done. We'll now move to the mode profile in the centre, and so this is where we will operate our power functions basically. So that would be seat tilt, rise, backrest, recline, and elevating leg rest. They're your sort of generic sets. On this particular LED controller, there are a couple of different styles and appearances from Arnett, but this one in particular has got a very nice and easily identifiable Powerchair icon in the centre next to the mode button. And what happens is when you press the mode button, that seat, that chair sort of lights up, but it will only highlight or only light up or illuminate the specific function that you have selected. Whether that's sometimes I think most of the time it actually just go through. It will go straight back to the previous or the last power function you used. So yeah, just a simple press of the mode button. You won't be able to drive the chair afterwards. As soon as you press that mode button and that seat is highlighted, you'll still have an indicator as to what speed profile you're on or drive profile you're on, but you won't physically be able to drive the chair. So because, well, for many reasons, but mainly because in order to operate the powered functions, you need to use the joystick forward and backwards to operate, and to cycle through each function, you're going left and right. To clarify what each one actually identifies, what you have here, you will be able to quite clearly see the seat. If the backrest is highlighted, then that is of course the powered backrest recline. If the seat is highlighted, then that is the seat riser, so the seat lift. If both of them are highlighted, then that's your tilt. And then you've got 2 individual foot plates that can highlight independently, and that is exactly what it suggests. It's the elevating leg rests. And if you've got individually elevating, then of course you can select left or right, or you can select them both at the same time to elevate at the same time. If you have a central foot plate, then you'll actually only get one highlighted, and but only because there's one actuator. It's not because anything's wrong, but that will be elevating the leg rest as well. And that's it, nice and simple. To come out of the powered functions, you just press mode again, and then you can drive. One thing I will quickly mention is that if you are on a degree of tilt or backrest recline or elevating leg rests, you may see that the drive light will be flashing. If that is flashing, it just means it's in speed inhibit mode, so you won't be doing your full maximum speed. There's nothing actually wrong, but yeah, it would just reduce the speed at which you can travel, just for a safety measure. But yeah, as soon as you come out of the degree of tilt or lessen it, then you'll be able to go back to your full drive mode, which is good. That's it. I hope you've liked the video. If you did like the video and enjoy it, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you very much.